From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. Israel's President Isaac Herzog arrived in Washington this morning and met with U.S. President Joe Biden at the White House.
Well, Mr. President, welcome back. Welcome back to Washington. Welcome back to the White House. And it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's wonderful to see you again. I bring a message of greeting and gratitude on behalf of the people of Israel, the entire nation of Israel, from all sides of the political spectrum, all expressing great friendship and gratitude to you.
The president reaffirmed the U.S.'s commitment to Israel's security is ironclad.
You know my love for Israel is deep-rooted and long-lasting. This is a friendship I believe is just simply unbreakable.
Herzog, in his comments, referenced the ongoing judicial reform crisis in Israel.
It's a heated debate, but it's also a virtue and a tribute to the greatness of Israeli democracy. And let me reiterate crystal clear, Israeli democracy is sound, strong, is resilient.
Tomorrow, he will meet with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House and address a joint session of Congress. Before departing Israel last night, Herzog said, "I'm grateful and privileged to represent all the people and the state of Israel in a joint session of Congress, marking 75 years of Israel. We have a uniquely strong friendship with the U.S., our most important ally." And he was also cited by the Times of Israel addressing the ongoing judicial crisis, calling yet again for dialogue and compromise, saying it is possible to arrive at reasonable formulas, both on the subject of reasonableness and on other matters. It simply requires effort. It requires giving up a little. It requires entering the room. It doesn't have to be in the president's residence. It can also be behind the scenes in the Knesset. Make an effort, Herzog said. The price is too great. And demonstrations against the judicial overhaul continued across Israel today, where protesters blocked major roads in what they called a day of resistance. In Tel Aviv, blocking major highways and buildings. Protesters from the Brothers and Sisters in Arms reservist group blocked the entrance to the Defense Ministry. And members of the group also hung a banner under a statue of Theodor Herzl, the founder of modern Zionism, at the entrance to the city of Herzliya, reading, "This is not what I intended." A number of protesters were arrested throughout the day. The demonstrations are aimed at stopping or slowing down specifically the reasonableness law legislation, which would prevent judicial review of government decisions. Last night, President Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the phone, the reasonableness legislation part of that conversation, with the Prime Minister's office saying that Netanyahu informed the U.S. president about the law that will be passed next week in the Knesset and about his intention to try to forge a broad public consensus regarding the rest of the process during the summer break. And the White House readout of the conversation between the leaders on that issue stated that President Biden reiterated, in the context of the current debate in Israel about judicial reform, the need for the broadest possible consensus, and that shared democratic values have always been and must remain a hallmark of the U.S.-Israel relationship. Turning now to some other news, a Jewish competitor on NBC's obstacle course competition, American Ninja Warrior, whose scenes never aired and was told his footage would not be released, now has highlights from his segment, thanks to a report by the JTA. NBC released a montage to Michael Newman, a psychotherapist from Miami Beach, of his time on the show. Newman also leads the Jewish Inspiration Foundation, JI for Life, which supports Jewish youth with physical challenges through sports, and he had brought 3 of those young people to the show with him. While Newman made it into the semifinals, he had to give up his spot because filming fell on Shabbat, the Sabbath, and he was later cut in the editing process. Newman told JBS, "For us to have this footage is so meaningful. I am forever grateful to Ninja for their kindness. This is a story about humanity and how we all are in this together. Well, here on JBS, we wanted to give Newman and the amazing young people he works with their TV moment. Here's that montage.
Miami's Michael Newman was inspired to return this year by the disabled athletes he works with, some of whom were on the sidelines. And the 29-year-old therapist gave him a run to remember.
Positive. Okay.
He made big moves on roller coasters.
Look at it. That's how you do it.
And took on the balance obstacle, which knocked him out last year.
I don't think he quite believed that he could do it, but he did it.
But his energetic run ended on kite surfing.
I mean, that's what happens, right? You give it your all, you fall, you get back up. The kids are the prime example of that.
Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, July the 18th at 7 o'clock. Mark Gerson reads from his book, The Telling, How Judaism's Essential Book Reveals the Meaning of Life. At 7:30, Rabbis Splansky, Stoller, and Rabbi Dr. Hoffman talk about ways to better channel vibrant Reform Jewish spirituality through the medium of religious observance and practice. At 9, Rabbi David Eliezrie is on L'chaim. At 10:30, Shahar speaks with Laureen Lipsky on how she went from anti-Israel activist to fighting for Israel. And coming up next, it's the ILTV's Insider. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.